clients want from you? And I want you to think about it. You know, what do your clients want with you? If you guys want to chat down or send me a couple of typed answers, that would be great. You know, what is it that your clients want from you as their real estate agent, either on the sales side or on the past client side? What is it that they want from you? So I'll give you a, I don't know, 30 seconds to tap out some type of a thought about that. If you're going to tap something out, otherwise I'll just let you think about it for just a second. But what is it? What do they really want? And then I'm going to ask some questions. You know, we'll talk about that a little bit. So I don't see anybody typing, so it's either you guys got it all figured out or not sure. Okay, so we say your clients, you know, if you think about the question I'm asking here, do your clients want from you a recipe of the month, or do they want housing neighborhood information? You know, if you think about the scenario of you're sitting down at the escrow table, you've just closed escrow, and you say to your customer, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, congratulations, thanks for doing business with me. What can I do two things for my customers. I give them a choice. I don't do them both, I just give you a choice. I send you either like a recipe of the month in a newsletter, or I send you housing market information about your neighborhood or you know, homes surrounding you, like a 1 square mile, and you know, what's currently for sale and what's recently sold, and I send that to you on a monthly basis as a market update to keep you up to date as to what's going on. So if you gave your customer that choice at the table, does anybody on the webinar, do any of you see your customer actually picking recipe of the month? And the answer, I believe the answer for you guys is no, except for maybe a chef or something, you know, a cook or something who may say, yeah, I'll take the recipe. But generally, consumers, you know, homeowners, I don't know of a single homeowner out there, and you guys, yeah, never a recipe, right? So the idea is your customers, your homeowners want to know what their house is doing. So, you know, think about the scenario of you're driving home or your customer drives home, 2 doors down from them tonight is a new listing sign in their neighborhood. And think about it for yourself too. You drive home tonight and 2, 3 doors down from your house, a new listing sign goes up and it's not yours. That's right, it's not yours. So what does your customer think? Your customer thinks what? What's it going for? And how is that relevant to my house? Okay? That's what they're thinking. And then to your house, you know, it's not your listing sign, it's a competitor's listing sign. What are your thoughts? You as a real estate agent, you've got two different thoughts, I would assert. The first thought is, why the heck isn't it my sign? And the second is, and what's it going for? I better look that up in the MLS. Okay? So going back to the first thought, why isn't it my sign? Well, shame on you for not farming your own neighborhood. I would say that. That's the first thing. Because your neighbors, your friends, you know, around you, all should be getting some type of a market report from you. You know, unless you just don't get along with your neighbors, then maybe time to move. I don't know. But you know, you know, the house I live in, you know, I've got 6 or 7 different neighbors that I can send stuff to. I mean, I'm not a real estate agent, so I don't, but I could. And you know, there's houses going on the market every once in a while around me that I could have as a realtor if I was sending them a market report. In my belief. So think about that. If your customer is getting that, you know, they drive home and they see that for sale sign in a yard 2 doors down, 3 doors down, you know, and they want to find out what it's selling for, what what are they going to do? And I think you guys all thought they go to Zillow or they go to Realtor.com. They look it up, or they call the listing agent that's on the sign, or they walk down to the neighbor and they say, "Hey, what are you selling your house for? What's this? What's the sales price?" Okay, it's a couple, three. There may be a couple of other scenarios, but in no case did I actually say that your customer called you. And I say it that way because the statistics that NAR puts out, and I'm actually going to go to this specific slide. So NAR did a big study in 2015, 2016. I think they released it last year in 2016. But they said 88% of all real estate customers would either work with or refer the last realtor they did business with. But only 11% actually do that. Now, why is that number so low? And I think, you know that. Realtors don't stay in touch with a reliable system with their client base. Now, some do. You may be someone, if you're on this call, you may be somebody who does. I don't know. You know whether you do or not. I know that I've had this conversation in live classes around the Phoenix area, and if I had a room of 20 agents, 19 of them start looking at their desk. They don't look at me when I ask that question. Are you staying in touch with your clients with a reliable, dependable system? And the answer almost always is no. Now, some of you that are on the webinar today, you're our customer. And my question is, have you really embraced jumping into our platform to really use it as it's designed, with communicating with your customers in a way that they get what they're actually wanting from you? So, if you go back to here, what do your clients want from you? Recipe of the month or housing information. So if you're giving them housing information, the customer your customer that gets the listing sign, put in the yard 2 doors down from them, where could they go get that information? They could get it from you. You're not top of mind if you're not communicating with them, which leads them to some other source, which is the perfect way for them to get away from you. How many of you, I can't see your hands, but how many of you on the webinar this morning have had the experience of actually having one of your past clients sell or buy their house or another home with another realtor after they've done business with you? That's a painful. I used to be in the mortgage business, and it was painful for me as a mortgage guy to learn that somebody refinanced their home a couple of years after I was involved in the purchase transaction. Now this is, back a few years, when I was, like 2000, 2005, CRMs and things like that weren't as prevalent, but I didn't have a system. I didn't stay in touch with people very much as a mortgage person, but I lost business because I didn't stay in touch. And quite frankly, it sucked. It was the worst feeling for me, was knowing that a past client that I did a good job for went somewhere else because they got pitched by somebody at the time they were looking to make a move. So two things, you're not getting contacted by your customers, hey, what's going on with the house that's 2 doors down from me, because you're not staying in touch with them. And second, where they're getting that information, and then second, they're not doing business with you on their next transaction because you're not staying in touch with them. And the iFound Agent platform, our system, is designed to make that dependable, to make your communication with your customer dependable, reliable, and giving your customer at least a very good snapshot of what's going around their house, and to keep you top of mind. So if your customer knows that you're sending them a monthly email or 2 emails a month with housing information, hey, here's what's for sale, hey, here's what's sold, You know, you could put both of those in the same email and send them out once a month, but they know that they're getting that from you. They're going to go check it out with you, more likely than not. Now, is it 100%? No, it's not going to be 100%. But anything is better than 0%, which is where a lot of real estate agents exist with their business. So that's the one of the big points is when you think about what your customer wants, are you giving it to them? In the old days, and it's still out there, what are you blogging about? What are you putting on your website? Well, there's a lot of real estate agents out there putting on their website, market or what's going to happen in the real estate industry this year, financing tips, home buying tips, home selling tips, different pieces of information about real estate, the buyer's guides, the seller's guides, and then they put it on their website looking for business. And my question and my challenge for that is, how many consumers are really looking for that online when they start their real estate transaction quest? When they start looking for a home, or they even start listing for a home, how many of them are looking for, well, let me see if I can find the steps to selling a house, and let's go to Google and search that, right? No, the first thing they're going to do is, what's my home worth? What shot do I have at selling my house, and what kind of profit can I make? That's what they're thinking. And their first person to reach out to should be the person that sold them that house. That's who they should go back to. They can't if they forget who that person was. And that the whole point of our system and why we're in business in today's world is to give you a mechanism to reliably stay in front of your customer, drive them to your website for them to get information about their house. That's the baseline point of what we do. And then, there's all kinds of other things, lead generation and organic lead generation, pay per click, their Facebook. We, now we have an automated content subscription that you can, we have a lot of different moving parts to our system, but the base is use your website like the MLS and tie your customers to it using a recurring email CRM process. So that's the basis for all of that. Now, here's where, let's just play with some numbers a little bit. So 350 people in your database. So think about that for a second. It's interesting when I hear, new agents looking at our platform, and I hear this comment like, I'm brand new to the business, and I really can't afford what you're doing, but I really, really, really like it. I'll get back to you in 6 months when I've made some money. And it's interesting to me. I've always approached business with, you've got to invest in your business to build your business, versus the other way around of, I'll invest later. Right now, I can't. And it's like, what are you in business for? Anyway, the investing, business 101 is invest in your business to help your business grow. That's just, they teach that in undergraduate college classes. Anyway, the comment I always make, though, or where I think of is, if you think about everybody those are all people to go into your database. And it's a conversation to have with them. It's an opportunity to talk to them. There are systems out there that teach you, anybody you come across, stick them in your database, no matter what. The milkman, the oil delivery guy, the UPS guy, get his card, stick him in your database. Just do it. And truth of the matter is, it's to have a conversation with your neighbor. Hey, is your realtor sending you a market update? Can I? Yes, I need your email address or your name. That's all I need. And then set them up on a campaign. Friends, family, sending your brother a market update. Hey, here's what your house is, here's what's selling around your house in your neighborhood, and sending it to them. Keeping that in front of everybody So if you take the case of, it doesn't have to be closed clients, it just has to be people you know, people in your network, people in your neighborhood, farming, all that can be people in your database. So, friends, family, neighbors, clients, etc. 350 people, I don't think that's a stretch for somebody who's 40 years old. It's, if you really sit down and think about it, there's a lot of people around. Maybe it's 200, I don't know, or you're even 100. We'll keep going down through the math. So if you email once a month closed listings to all of those contacts, that's 4,200 communications. But you have to use an automated system. But because I just saw some head spin on how am I going to get 4,200 emails done this year? Well, that's the automation. Okay. Same thing with I'm going to send out a monthly email with here's what's selling. 4,200 emails. Again, automation. Okay. Now, there are some systems out there that talk about send out, a request for business. Hey, who do you know that's likely in the next 30 to 60, 90 days to be buying or selling a house? I'd love to talk with them. Can you get me their number? Can you refer me to them? 3 texts a year asking for business, that's 1,050 touches to your 350 people. Okay? Our platform lets you text out from it. Next one, holidays, birthdays, anniversary. You could add in anniversary of the day they bought their house, or kids, and you guys know, holidays, birthdays, anniversary, home purchase of anniversary date, something like that. But if you did 3 of those a year, just to say hi, you're now talking about another 1,050 communications. Can you send out 1,050 texts over the course of a year to 350 people? Definitely not. That's a crazy thing to try to remember to do. Same thing with these, but you can do it through automation. And that's where the power of automation and working with the CRM. And then, these two here, these are really touching base with your, that's the pop buys or the drop-ins or the, hey, how you doing, was thinking about you. That's that type of communication. Then there's these two that are all about driving people back to your website, training your customers where to go for real estate information, not to Zillow, not to Realtor.com, not to the competitor, to your website. That's the whole design of our system, is to get people snooping around for their neighborhood on your website after they've closed business with you. So if you add all these up for 350 people, you're looking at 10,500 touches. So out of all that, NAR, there's some statistics around that say you're going to close, 6, 7, 8 additional transactions if you did something like this on a consistent basis with your sphere. You're in the Phoenix market, you're looking at average sales prices like 280,000 or something like that right now. What if you close an extra 6 or 7 deals a year just because you implemented a count-onable system for communicating to your customers? 6 or 7 deals, that's, I don't know, $50, $60, $70,000, depending on what real estate company you're working at. That's a lot of cash flow to put yourself in front of just by implementing a system. So in a little bit, I'm going to show you how the system gets, like how you actually do it. And I know some of you folks on the call are our current customers, and this will be a good refresher for you. If you're not currently doing what we're talking about or new to it, or you're like, I still haven't picked it up and started to do it, that the intention of this webinar is A, to show people new what we're doing, but if you're not doing what we're talking about and you have our platforms to kind of shake the tree and say, all right, let's get busy with it. So, if you could change one thing this year, what would it be? And I assert it would be, looking at the question, are you in the business for the long haul? And if so, you got to start doing things for the long haul, which is setting up a system to stay in touch with your database over time. Otherwise, you just have an expensive hobby. We use a business coach, and she talks to us all the time about, are you guys a business or are you an expensive hobby? And it really, we started using our coach about a year and a half ago, and it's made a huge difference in what we're doing as a business. So but that's one of the phrases about it that has rung true to my partner and I, Dave Mason, and myself, is like, we're a business. We're not an expensive hobby. We're doing the right things for the long haul. So that's for you to think. Now, 350 people in your database. Let's go back to this slide. That's a pretty decent numbers, and a lot of you have databases that you're using, and that you have in another CRM, or you have a spreadsheet. You may or may not have them. The people, real estate agents are all over the place with their data. So, how long does it take to get 350 people in your database? Well, if you can import them directly, it doesn't take very long. But if you have to put them in yourself, there's a little bit of a formula to think about. And I'm going to go through that in just a second when I show you the demo. But for now, I'm going to stop and see who's got questions about what I presented so far. Anybody have any questions, comments, aha moments you want to comment about? Just send me a quick text and say I do, and then or send me a quick message, and I will unmute you so you can chat and ask it. Because if you're thinking about it, probably somebody else is. Anyone? Can you guys still hear me? Okay, thank you. So someone can still hear me. Thank you. Anybody have any questions? Going once? Twice? Okay, so I'm going to jump into a how do you do all this phase of the conversation I'm having. So I'm going to move this out of the way. I'm going to move this into the way. Oops, wrong one. I'm going to move this into the way, and I'm going to open up one of our test websites. And some of you may have already seen this website. It's a test website we have for Houses Chandler. This is it's a live site. It's real data. We are using it for things the demos and things we're teaching. We are running our content subscription through here, so we do drop in automated content. And then here's an example of how to do an open house advertisement on your website and then get that dropped into Facebook and market an open house you may be doing. So there's a variety of things that is on our website, but I'm going to show you the basis of communicating with your customer base, and setting up the system to work with your customers. By the way, for those of you who are on the call, here is the precursor for, we're coming out with a new text box for doing text searches versus the standard quick search that we've had. We're actually going to allow you to type in what you're looking for, and we're feverishly working on releasing that, but this is sort of where we're doing a test of it. It's not fully, this one isn't fully functional, but we are working on one that's we're going to be rolling out fairly soon, over the next, I'd say, 1 to 2 weeks. But I'm going to jump into the admin. So, and I'm going to run with the scenario that I've met somebody. Do I have somebody on the call that is willing to work with me as a volunteer? Somebody who's, I just need one person to step up and volunteer with me, and I need your email address and your phone number. If not, I'll use myself as a demo. Okay, I'm going to jump into the admin. Pamela Jackson. Okay, thanks, Pam. All right, cool. Then I will work with you, Pam, to show you what this is like. So I'm I'm going to make up a search for someone I just met at an open house. Let's just leave it at that. Actually, Pam, what subdivision do you live in? If you could type that out really quick and send that to me. Ventana Lakes, perfect. Is that in what city? Peoria and Sun City. Okay. All right. Let's see what that looks like. So I'm going to say that we're going to do two things. We're going to pretend that I've met Pam at an open house, and we're going to set her up on a home search, and then we're going to buy a house in Ventana Lakes. Pam's going to buy a house, and I'll show you how to follow up with her on that one. So first thing we're going to do is homes in Peoria and Sun City. Is that Sun City? Yeah, Sun City. I haven't done anything in the West Valley for a while, but those are both Sun Cities of, man, that's a city, I think. So we're just going to run with that. Homes in between, let's just do between 300K to 350K with 4 bedrooms and 2 baths with RV parking. So this could be somebody who's looking, who Pam's looking, Pam's looking at, this category of houses. So I don't think I'm far off with what you would get asked for as a real estate agent. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to drop this into my content area so you guys can see what it looks like. And then I'm going to add my IDX search. So IDX is the tool that displays listings on your website. There's 200-300 IDX companies in the country, maybe more. There's about 30 in the Phoenix, 20 to 30 in the Phoenix market. We're listed with ARMLS under a company name called Profound Marketing, as that's our technical legal name, but we do business as iFound Agent. So from here, residential, rentals, land and lots. I can do closed listings and active listings. I can draw a quick map, so I really can come in here, click my polygon tool. I can go like this and do a quick polygon. I can actually do a second polygon if I want, like that, and maybe a third polygon if I was going to do polygon searches for somebody. But I'm not going to do a polygon search, so I'm going to just quickly come in. I could delete those, but I'm going to quickly come in this way. So I'm going to get rid of the map. So all I'm doing is clicking on that. It's a link, and it just collapses, uncollapses. But I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to do Sun City, comma, Peoria. And my price range that I said was 300,000 to 350. And I said 4 bedrooms, 2 bath, and I'm going to go into parking features. Right there, I'm going to hit add criteria, and I'm going to click options. And what pops up are my options, and these are exactly what are in your MLS for that specific category. So I'm actually going to pick anything for RV, and I'm actually going to pick a real rear vehicle entry as a possibility for somebody getting into a gate, or coming in, and maybe that's how they filed. I'm just going to pick that for now. So I'm going to add those, and I'm going to drop this into I'm going to drop that code into my blog post that I'm publishing, okay, that I'm going to put out there, that I'm going to send to my customer. So the first thing that you want to do is you may want to preview this. So if I just click preview, it opens up a temporary screen, and I'm now seeing 1 of 15 of 25 results. So those are my results, and I'm going to assume that this is a pretty good look at what I would be expecting, but I'm getting 4 bedroom, 3 bath, 4 bedroom, 2.5 bath, 5 and 3, 4 and 3. So I'm actually in the ballpark for what I'd want to send my customer. So Pam, I'm actually going to assume that this works, and I'm going to send this out. So I'm going to say this works. I want to send this to my customer. So I'm going to start cultivating them. They're out kicking the tires. So I'm going to come back into um, my blog post, and now I'm going to publish it. So I'm going to assign it to a category, and then I'm going to publish it. I'm going to get rid of this preview so that I don't get it confused later on. Previews, one of the support tickets we get from folks every once in a while is they try to send a preview to somebody, and the preview doesn't work. So we have to, explain to them it's the preview that's broken and it doesn't work versus the actual published page. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my CRM. So I'm going to go into this blue envelope, and I'm going to click this. And from here, I have a buyer template, and I'm actually messing with some content in here. This isn't quite exactly what I want to show, or that I would send a customer. But I'm just going to say, here's the home search you wanted from Dale in Peoria and Sun City. So this is going to go directly to my customer. I do have other templates for closed escrow, home valuation, potential seller. If you have our system out of the box, we give you 3, and I've added a 4th. So we do give you some of these that you can, like if I flip over to closed escrow, like this is what we give you. Home valuation, we give you another one. And these are just quick and dirty. You can change them and save them in your system. And I'm back to where I was. I'm going to drop in the one that I just typed in, and I'm going to send this out to the CRM. So our CRM partner is LionDesk. They've built this special functionality for us. Like if you just go to LionDesk to try to use them, and you don't work with us to connect the dots, this process won't work the way we've designed it to work. So if you notice, there's my subject line for the email that I sent over. Here's the content, and here's the link to the blog post that I just set up. So I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to, Pam, you might already be in our system, so let me just see. Homes by Pam. Yeah, you are in our system, so I'm just going to say Homes by Pam. If you weren't in our system, I would come over here and quickly put in first name, last name, email address, phone number, and send this off to you. But you're in our system, so I'm not going to mess with that. And then from here, I'm going to drop down. And actually, if you notice, I could send this to Pam, but I could also send it to like a husband and wife, so they each get a copy of it. Okay, not just one of them. I could send it to multiple. And I'm scrolling down, and here's part of the functionality is that we can dump straight into LionDesk, but I can set up a recurring campaign. So I'm going to click recurring, and I'm going to send this out today, and I'm going to send it out at 10:30. And the conversation goes something like this. Pam, great to meet you. Thanks for coming by my open house. I'm going to send you an email every day for the next 5 months until we find a house for you. And I'm going to send you a link to the search that you asked me to set up for you. It'll be on my website, and I'll send you an email every day at 10:30 in the morning so you'll know when it's coming. And all you have to do is click it from your phone, your tablet, your laptop, and I'll take you right to that search on my website. If you want to modify this search, you can do it yourself, or just reach back out to me and I can set up a new search for you. Either way, you can save homes, save your search. Is that okay with you? And then, most likely they're going to say yes, or they wouldn't have given you their information. So I'm going to repeat this. So I'm ready to send this out today at 10:30, and I'm going to repeat this every day, and I'm going to send it out for 150 days. So that's a 5-month period of time. Every day at 10:30 for the next 5 months, Pam's going to get an email from me. Now, I'm only going to send it out to Pam twice, so she gets it twice, and that'll be that. So I'm going to send this out. I do have to assign it to a folder, so I'm going to send it to a new lead follow-up folder. That's because of how the system works. And I'm going to schedule the email, and boom, Pam's now going to go get that email. So the next thing I'm going to do is I could go send Pam a text. So let me go see if I can find Pam in here really quick. So there's Pam's account, and I could send Pam a text really quick, or I could just go text and I'm going to just drop in the link to that search, and boom. Imagine sitting at a webinar or sitting at an open house, and your customer, who you just met, just walked out to the car to get in their car, and you just sent them a text from your system saying, "Hey, here's the home search you're asking for, and you'll start getting your emails also." But now they've got something right in their phone to look at immediately upon leaving. That's, in my world, I think that's pretty darn impressive. So anyway, that's something I wanted to show you. Now, let's fast forward really quick and say that Pam's now shopped, and she's now she's gone to escrow, and we're going to say recent And Pam, you said Ventana Lakes was in Peoria and Sun City. So we'll see how that search comes out. I don't think I've ever done one quite like that. So I'm going to drop this in so you can see, so you can see what it looks like. And I'm going to separate this down. And I'm going to change from active to closed because I'm interested in sending a closed to closed. And I'm now going to say Peoria, comma, Sun City, and I'm going to say Ventana Lakes, and I'm going to select close date, add criteria, and I'm just going to type in 1 month ago. That's how simple that is. It's 1 month ago, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, 1 year ago, let's say I was doing latest listings to somebody and they just wanted the last 2 days. I could put in, under listing date, so I could go into here to listing date. Right there, I could add this, and I could say after 2 days ago for active sales. So I could send somebody like a hot list if I wanted to of this is the latest stuff, either latest updated or latest on the market by using listing date 2 days ago, 1 day ago. Whatever you need to do every 7 days, something like that. This is the last 7 days worth of listings. Okay, I don't need to beat that up anymore. But that's how you set up close date. And that's it. So I'm going to drop this into our system, and I'm going to publish it. Now, I've done thousands of these, so I'm just going to publish directly because I'll just fix it on the fly if it's broke or we don't get the results I want. You may get to the point where you do that. It's up, I'm not telling you to do that, but I'm just going to open this up. I'm going to look at it. And I got 13 homes. So Pam, can you, do you know whether that's accurate for the last 30 days in Ventana Lakes? Does that sound right for the number of closings in Ventana Lakes? That's close. Okay, so it's close enough for you to send this to your customer. So your customer lives in Ventana Lakes, and you could send them this list. I mean, you may want to dial it down to I'm only going to send them 3-bedroom, 2-bath listings because that's what they bought. That's what they own. You would know what you're going to send them. But at a minimum, let's say this is what we want to send them. There was a question on the floor. Can I send them active and closed listings? So let's just see. I'm gonna go changes just to test it. So I just highlight all the code and I add in. I don't think I can do both, but let's try. So I'm just going to put in active listings, and I'm going to put in, yeah, I don't know that it will work because you're looking for active listings with a closing date, and I think that'll break it. So let's just do it really quick. But this is how quickly you can test it. So it's only looking for closing date. So let me add, let's just do one more thing then. That didn't, I don't think that, yeah, so it's still showing me closed listings only. So let's drop in here and quickly do and this is my recommendation for you. If you have questions about it, it's really, I think it's fun to go in and mess around and test things out to see what you can do, because as you test things, you'll learn, wow, I can do more stuff with this. So let's do after 1 month ago also. So we're going to get the latest month of active listings, hopefully. So let's update this, and we'll go back to here. So yeah, so that broke it. So right now, no, but I would handle that from the question from the floor about can I do both. I would handle that in a different way. I'm actually going to show you how I would handle that. So let me fix this really quick. So I highlight the code, and I just come in and I go get rid of that, and I'm going to just get rid of active listings, save it, update, and then I'm going to go back to my blog post and test it or update it just to, or reset it. And I'm back to 13 results. So I'm back to where I want to send this to my customer, okay? So now I click this envelope again, and I change to closed escrow, and I set up market update in Ventana Lakes from Dale Stauffer. Why am I putting my name in the subject line? So that they can see who it's coming from. Like, it's instant. They know, hey, I want to look at this or I don't, because they'll remember who I am over time. So, or they'll just remember who I am, and they get it in their subject line, so they can quickly see, yes, I want to look at this month, or no, I don't. Right? It's good for them to have that freedom, and you're keeping yourself in front of them. So click here to send to the CRM, and I know Pam's in there because we've been working together to get a house. She's now sold. Here's my email, market update, Ventana Lakes from Dale Stauffer, and now I'm going to set up recurring, but instead of repeating every day, I'm going to quickly change this to every 30 days. And I'm going to send this to 120 times. Send this 120 times. This is a 10-year period. Okay, so you just absorb that. That's a 10-year period of time that I'm going to send this out. Okay, now what I said earlier was, instead of trying to do homes sold or homes for sale, I would just, I'm going to go back to my other blog post that I just published. So I could do a couple of things. I could set up what's for sale in Ventana Lakes as another search and publish that on my website, and then go to it, like, let's just pretend this one is Ventana Lakes. Just grab this URL, go back into here, and I could say, hey, here's your monthly market update, recently sold homes, what's for sale. So sometimes real estate agents ask, hey, should I send them too much, or should I send them 2 emails a month? And you could, this this slide that I had before, you're sending 1 email for closed listings, 1 email for sales. If you only send 1 with both, which gives them a good idea of what's going on both sides of the market, then only send 1 and combine it this way. That's a way you could do it. Okay, I don't think too much is too much, especially if you tell them that's what you're doing. Okay, and they say, yep, please send that to me. Okay, so that's how I would handle that. Is you could put them both on here, or just send 1 at a time, and you'll adjust accordingly. but I'm now set up to send this for 10 years over the next, well, every month for the next 10 years. Now, Pam, I'm not actually going to send this to you, but I am going to send this to you once, and it'll go out today. And I got to assign it to a closed client folder, and boom, it's now going to go out today, and I'm done. So at this point, I've now done the basis of the communication that I'm going to do for my customer Pam, who just closed her escrow with me. And I've now set up at least 4,200 communications, or sorry, 120 communications with her over the next 10 years, 12 for this year. So, you know, if we go back to this slide, and I go back to this 350 people. Now, if you think about how long it took me to do that closed listing search, you know, it really took me less than 5 minutes to set up the search, publish it, look at it, send it into the CRM, and turn it on. I mean, it really took me less than 5 minutes. I say if it took me 3 minutes, I was slow, because it didn't take me long. But let's just take the case it took 5. So if I, for the next month, this is how quickly you get this rolling. If I, for the next month, sat down and did 12 people a day for 30 days, I'd have 360 people done in 30 days. So I'm going from no real significant follow-up to I'm now sending 350 people these communications. At a minimum, I'm sending them these two right off the bat in the next 30 days. That would be my goal, my challenge is, you know, can you do this? And the answer is, yeah, it's not that hard. Did anybody on this webinar look at this and go, man, that's just too hard? All right, so far no one's saying I'm out, this is too hard. Anybody think that was fairly simple? Someone thought it was simple. All right, thank you, Carol. Carol thought it was pretty simple. So I'm sure there are some other folks that are thinking that was pretty simple. We get a lot of feedback. It's pretty darn simple, which is the way we've designed it. So think about it in that capacity. What do I need to get started? That's it. 350 people, or as many as you can do in an hour for the next 30 days. You know, the 30-day challenge. Like, you want to change 2017, your business forever, set up the basis of what we're talking about, get really good at that, and then come back to this. All right, how do I turn on my text campaigns? Okay, that's the next thing to learn inside the CRM. I don't even want to teach you how to do this until you get this part mastered. Once you've learned this, then we can go back and teach you this, or get you taught on how to set up texting campaigns. That's secondary to learning how to set up the basis of your market reports for your customers. Okay, at this point, I'm going to stop recording the webinar, and I'm going to hang and open the floor up for a couple of questions. But at this point, I'm going to stop, so hold on one sec.